everybody, welcome back to my channel, Nikki A, for another review of the Real Housewives of Potomac. We are season 7, episode 8. But before we get into it, I just wanted to say thank you for all the love that y'all showed my last video, which was for the review for episode 7. Where the fight broke out and all of that between Wendy and Candace, and that video at this time has the most views. That video, I got my first likes.
Oh my god.
My first comment. So, as someone who is just now starting out, like I said, I'm baby brand new into the YouTube game. Every like, every comment, every view means so much to me. And even the love that's been shown on the videos prior to my last one, I just want to say thank you so much to each and every one of you that has watched, that has commented, and that has liked the video. I hope you like this video as well. Please comment, and also, please hit that like button if you enjoy this video also. And without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get into the review. Ooh, bars!
You take that elsewhere. Don't bring that here.
So anyways, we are still at bar 1. And Ashley is saying that she didn't like what Mia did. And Giselle chimes in and says, well, they were both wrong.
Ashley, both sides were unnecessary.
Now, Giselle, you said Karen was humping the fence. You're humping. You said that Karen was humping the fence when she said that.
I've got to get you. Hooray!
You said Karen needed to pick a side, that Karen wasn't being anybody's friend when she said that. But now it's okay for you to say that. And this is one reason why I wish Karen never said that.
Bad idea.
Because now Giselle will use that when her behavior during this whole situation is confronted, so that she doesn't have to explain why it is that you're running over here to Mia when Mia is the violent one, but when it was Monique, you needed security, you needed a town hall meeting and all these things. Now Giselle can sit back and be like, oh, well, they were both wrong. Karen said it. So, I'm going to go to the one who's my friend because, they were both wrong. And now Giselle has something that she can use, which is, again, why I feel in this situation, neutrality is not the way to go. Because this is a very serious situation, especially when we're talking about the colorism and what have you on the show. And having neutrality is not going to get you to a place of resolution. You have to stand on one side or the other so that you can get to a place, you can have definition and get to a place of resolution. But we will move on. Mia is upset because she feels that Karen didn't have her back. Karen says they cancel each other out. Y'all throwing drinks, you throwing insults. Y'all behavior cancels each other's out.
What?
I will address that more later. I've already addressed how I feel about Karen's stance, both already in my last video, and I will address it later on in this one. But I've already stated how I feel about that, and it's some bull crap. Anyways, they have dessert, and then Giselle says, I would like to check on Mia. I would like to check on Mia.
Check on Mia. I would like to check on Mia.
Oh, that's good for you, baby.
Ashley goes and checks on Wendy. Mia says she doesn't want to go back to the house. Or not Mia, I'm sorry. Wendy says she doesn't want to go back to the house because she doesn't feel safe. And I'm with her on that. Especially when, I'm sure Wendy is realizing at this moment, at this point, that she's had a target on her back. I think she realizes in this moment that Mia was coming for her since before they left the house. So you don't know, when somebody is putting that much energy into trying to clown you and make you look bad, you don't know what they have up their sleeve. And I wouldn't want to be anywhere around Mia either. Mia is saying her flight is booked, but we all know she ain't going nowhere. She gonna stay and get this check because it's the only check she got coming in. They are trying to say that Karen should have, they, meaning Robin and Giselle and Mia, that Karen should have diffused the situation. Meanwhile, back at the ranch, y'all were the ones that were egging the situation on. When, if I do recall correctly, Wendy was up here saying, are you going to throw another drink on me? Are you going to do... She might. What kind of woman throws a drink on another woman? Apparently that one does. That's what you were doing, Giselle. You were relishing and enjoying the moment. But Karen was the one that was supposed to be responsible for diffusing the situation? No, ma'am. Absolutely. Both of y'all can keep it. Then Mia tries to say if it was Ray, she would be upset, but that she let G get filleted. Girl, ain't nobody have Karen's back when Ray was getting talked about. And Ray has been talked about on multiple occasions on this show, and nobody had Karen's back. She has had to defend Ray by herself. And the second time around in which she had to defend herself, you flip-flopped, condemning Giselle behind her back and being friendly to her face. So we're not gonna do this, Mia. We're not gonna do this. You gave Karen fake support at that dinner table when Candace and when Karen and Giselle were going back and forth. You wanted to be like, oh, I think she has a beautiful soul. Then when Karen brings up what Giselle said about Ray, oh, I think she's a horrible person. But then you get in Giselle's face and it's a whole different story. So we're not going to sit here and act like you done had Karen's back. Because you haven't. And you haven't had Ray's back either. Also, ma'am, you threw a drink on this lady. So whatever it is that she said about you or anybody else connected to you was fair game. You targeted this lady. So we're not going to sit here and act like her actions came out of nowhere. But we're going to get into that later on. They all get back to the house. They all pretty much rally around Mia like she's the victim, except Ashley. Ashley goes to check on Wendy. And Wendy says that she's leaving to go to a hotel. They cut back to a scene with them all around. And everybody's coming into the room or whatever, where Mia, Robin, Giselle, and I think that's all who was in the car with them. And then Giselle asked, what is she doing? Of Wendy, what is she doing? Is she staying here? Yeah, because you definitely want her going. Just like you want Candace going, and just like you wanted Monique going, now you want Wendy going too. Jackie says, basically, that neither Mia or Wendy are used to being told no. And this is what happens when you get two people like that together that are not used to being told no. No, ma'am. Wendy was minding her own business. And Mia went looking for trouble, and Wendy allowed her to find it. That's what happened in that situation. It had nothing to do with anybody trying to be bullheaded or nobody, people trying to be arrogant or not wanting to be told. No. What you don't do is involve yourself in my business and ain't got nothing to do with you. And accuse me of accuse me of having bad business practices and all of these other things when you don't even know what's going on. And then you're going to throw a drink on me? Over Peter Thomas? No. We're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. You're not going to keep trying to lump Wendy's behavior in with Mia. Wendy is the victim. Mia is the one that was wrong. We're gonna keep making sure that we get that straight throughout this whole review and the other reviews that come after this. Okay? Giselle is extremely giddy in this moment and in a very good mood because she knows that Wendy has been ousted. Candace arrives. Robin greets her, catches her up, basically relays the situation as Mia threw a drink on Wendy, but Wendy was doing the most. Candace, in her confessional, says, Wendy was definitely getting angry, but if you throw a drink on me, you are asking for me to take your edges off and bring them with me. Robin relays to Candace that Wendy left to get a hotel, and Candace says, well, if Mia is throwing drinks and bags and purses and stuff, then she should go home, and period.
You take that elsewhere. Don't bring that here.
Because, and now what happened with Monique? Monique was the one that had to be separated from the group because she was the violent one, but Wendy is the one that has to be, like, we're not doing that. So I appreciate Candace for that. There's also a moment where Robin shows her video footage from her phone with what happened that night. And you see Candace going, Wendy, no. And here's the thing, because I watched a couple of reviews before I recorded mine. I've seen a couple of posts before I did my review. And I see that a lot of people are not happy with how Candace proceeded once she got there and found out what was going on. At first, I want to say this. This is directly to Candace. Candace, I know that now you've actually fully seen what happened, and I just that mess from Robin's phone, so you were able to see that Mia antagonized the whole situation. Because probably from the footage that Candace saw, Robin didn't record the fight. Robin wasn't recording when Mia started popping off and digging her nose in business that doesn't, has nothing to do with her. She only recorded Wendy to make Wendy look bad. So at this point, Candace has now seen everything and she knows what's really going on, which is why when you see her now in interviews and stuff like that, her response is a little bit different than, what it's giving on the show. When I feel like Candace is coming from a place of no, Wendy, don't let them get you out of character like that. Don't let them, you know what I'm saying? I don't think it was coming from a place of no, don't get angry with me or don't. I really feel like it was coming from a place of don't give them what they want, basically. And I don't think that she was siding with Mia at all. And I'm going to get in a little bit more into Candace and, how she was acting in the role she played in all of that a little bit later. And I apologize if this review is a little bit disjointed. My notes are kind of all over the place.
The ghetto!
Because I was trying my hardest to only have to watch the episode once. And I did end up having to watch it 2 times. Just because everything was moving so fast, there was a lot going on, and it was very difficult for me to watch. I don't know how these other YouTubers do it. I don't know how Scotty by Nature TV, I don't know how Scotty watches this and then in 15 minutes is on here on live talking about the show. Scotty, how do you do it? Baby, Scotty, baby, because I can't. No, and maybe just because I'm not experienced, Scotty's been doing this for a while. I'm gonna get there one day, but not today. So y'all just please excuse me and just rock with me and my raggedy notes.
A little bit ghetto, a little bit hood.
Okay, moving on. So it's the next day. And they're all getting together, they're getting their food, whatever, what have you. Ashley sits down to eat, and Giselle says to Ashley, you seem upset. And Ashley says that she doesn't condone violence. Giselle says that Ashley is being contradictory because she went down to the courthouse for Monique, but has a problem with them supporting Mia. Now here is the thing. I can't stand Giselle. But Giselle has a point, and Ashley, you're going to have to hold your L. Now, I will say this, Ashley, you are allowed to grow. You are allowed to mature. You are allowed to have a different perspective now than what you did 2 seasons ago. Okay? You are allowed that. However, if we're in a season of growth, and you are looking around and you feel that this situation is wrong, and you're connecting this situation to the Candace and Monique situation, then baby, you're going to have to put on your big girl panties And you're going to have to give Candace a huge public apology on film.
See, when you do clownery, the clown comes back to bite.
Because Ashley, and people want to be like, really, Giselle? Da, da, da. But here is the thing. You cannot live in a glass house and throw stones, baby. You cannot. You cannot. You have, you are going to have to stand 10 toes. If that's really how you feel, you are going to have to move accordingly. Ashley, you sat up there and you released a statement, or gave a statement rather. You wrote up a statement rather, in defense of Monique for a fight that you were not even there for. Talking about, well, I was just speaking to her character. It doesn't matter. You're speaking to her character in connection to a fight that you were not even there for. And I saw a lot of people in comment sections talking about, oh, well, Ashley was just doing that because she didn't want her to go to jail and she felt like her kids shouldn't be without a mother. Monique's kids are not Ashley's responsibility. Monique's kids are Monique's responsibility. So Monique should have had that thought process before she went and put her hands on Candace, and Candace ain't did nothing to her.
Okay?
Because I guarantee you, had she put hands on Robin, had she put hands on Giselle, Ashley wouldn't have wrote no statement. And Ashley wouldn't have wrote a statement on Robin, and Robin had her fingers in her face. And she still wouldn't have wrote no statement in behalf of Monique. Ashley wrote that statement as a dig and a way to get back at Candace. And Ashley is going to have to stand on that. Like, hey, you know, what I did was wrong. I was being spiteful because of how I felt about you. And I realize now that in me doing that, I was supporting XYZ, blah, 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 blah. Ashley, you are going to, and I'm not going to say too much because I'm not going to spoon feed you what to say. If you really feel like that, then you're going to have to be 10 toes down and you're going to have to apologize to Candace. Hear me. Hear me. You're going to have to apologize to Candace if that's really how you feel. Okay? They move on. They talk about the plans for today. And there's a beach day planned for Karen's birthday. After that, then they all decide they're going to go down to the pool, whatever. So they all go down to the pool, and then I think Robin, Giselle, Mia, Jackie, and Sharice go to the actual pool. Candace, Ashley, and Karen, I think they go to what's called the pool house. I think is where they were. And those three come together to check on Wendy. And Karen is still trying to say that they were both wrong. Karen says, I don't like that the drink was thrown on Wendy. I don't like that the lies were hurled on Mia. Karen, cut it out. Mia threw the drink first. And let's remember here, you got mad at Giselle and called her a hoe with the STD. Just off of something that Giselle said. So imagine how upset, how mad, how offended you would have been and felt if Giselle had actually assaulted you.
I better listen now. I'm telling you, that's a word.
Karen, you can miss me with the neutrality. Wendy didn't do anything wrong. Wendy's actions are nowhere near on the same level of what Mia's are. And Wendy does not have nowhere near the same accountability, if any, as to what Mia has. We're not going to do that.
Not on my watch.
Stop trying to make Wendy as accountable as Mia, because she's not. Again, Wendy is the victim in this situation, not Mia. Candace becomes triggered, as I kind of knew she would, and starts crying and saying that this is not right, and that words and throwing things and being physical are not the same. Candace then says this is not right. People think that they can do whatever they want because they can't use their words. And I said, read. Please read. I knew that this was going to be a lot for Candace, which is why I'm actually glad that she was not there, because she is already, through just the retelling and rewatching it, is going to have to relive the whole boring situation all over again. So for her to be there and be in the midst of it, that would have been a lot for her emotionally. And I don't want that for Candace. I'm also glad that Candace did not allow Karen to sit in neutrality. This is not a both sides was wrong situation. There's a clear wrong side. And Karen cannot say that she stands on the side of right, but then stands on no sides. You're not standing on no sides, girl. If you in the middle, then you ain't on no sides. If you say that there's a side of right, then there's also a side of wrong. Neutrality is not on the side of anything. It is in the middle. So if you're going to be on the side of right, Karen, be on the side of right, baby. Then Robin tries to say that basically that Candace is trying to compare the Monique and Candace situation to what happened last night and try to say that the Candace and Monique situation isn't the same as Mia and Wendy, and then tries to say that they were both wrong. But didn't y'all just try to let Karen have it for saying the same thing?
Now hold on.
See, this is why, again, in situations like this, you have to be careful when you try to play the neutral side, when you try to play the neutral role. You have to be aware of all parties involved, all personalities involved. You have to be aware of who you're dealing with when you take your stand for a situation. And when you have two slimy snakes like Robin and Giselle in your midst, you cannot move like that, because they are always looking for a way to not have no mess on them. They're always looking for a way that they can come out the smoothest and the cleanest. So though they want to sit up here and let Karen have it for being neutral, they're going to also try to move into this neutral lane so they can say, hey, you know, I'm over here for Mia because that's my girl, but they both was wrong. But you know what I'm saying? I'm going to take up for my girl though because that's my girl. You know what I mean? Like, but they both was wrong. So that they don't look like colorists, so that they can be, you know, they don't have to step over into this colorism lane. When you're dealing with people like Giselle and Robin, you have to be very careful with what you say and how you move. And this is why I'm so upset with Karen, because Karen should have taken a stand and said, hey, you know what? At the end of the day, Mia was wrong, period. You gave them a lane to be able to step in and say, well, this is why I behaved the way that I did, because I felt that they both were wrong, when that's some bull crap. And Karen, you know it. Y'all all know it. Y'all all know it. And how I know it's some bull crap, because Robin and Giselle were not neutral when it came to Candace and Monique. It was very much, Monique gotta go, she's dangerous, she's violent, so on and so forth. But in this situation, it can be, well, they both were wrong. No, I'm not buying it, and I'm not having it. And I can definitely be missed, and we will move on. Also, as I said, this whole situation, it is the exact same situation. Wendy, again, and I'm going to keep saying it, Wendy was not wrong. Wendy was triggered and then had no support. So Wendy reacted coming from that headspace, because Robin tried to say Mia was wrong for throwing the drink and Wendy was wrong for escalating the situation. No, my love. Mia escalated the situation when she threw the drink. Let's be very clear. We're going to use the correct terms here when we're talking about the behavior of the other night. You just don't want Wendy to win. That's all. You don't want Wendy to be on the side of right, and you don't want your light-skinned friend to be on the side of wrong. And you proved that in your confessional when you said, well, I mean, you know, I don't like Wendy. I'm on Mia's side because I don't like Wendy.
What he said, what now?
We get back to the scene of the three at the pool house. They are on the phone with Wendy. Wendy is still by herself at a hotel. Like I said, they call Wendy. Wendy has no voice because she's been crying all night. And then Karen says that, because like I said earlier, there's a beach day planned and what have you. And Karen says, I want all my girls with me it's my birthday. I want all my girls with me at the beach. And she personally invites, when she's like, she said, because it was Ashley's phone, she said, give me your phone. I'm personally inviting you. I want you there. Wendy says she's going to go because she doesn't want Karen to have a bad birthday, you know, whatever, what have you. Candace tells Wendy, girl, don't let these hoes run you off. You know what I'm saying? Don't let them run you out of your situation. Okay? Bring yourself down to the beach. It's going to be cute, whatever, what have you. Karen then goes to Mia and asks if it is okay for Wendy to come. Mia basically says, no, why don't you do breakfast with me? You can do lunch with her. And Karen is like, I don't really want to, you know, I want, you know, everybody there, whatever, what have you. And, you know, basically they go back and forth. And I believe, because I'm not about to go back and watch this again, but I believe Mia said something like, if that's what you want to do, if that's what you want to do, you know, but anybody who decides to take Wendy's side lets me know that they don't have my back. And Karen is like, oh, are you speaking to me directly? Are you saying, and Wendy was like, no, you know, I'm just saying. So basically they go back and forth or whatever. And Karen was like, okay, so you're saying, you know, that it's too soon. You're not really feeling that. Like, she backpedals and coochie pops. Okay. And so much so that she then calls Wendy and reneges her invitation. Now, here's where Karen has me all the way messed up. Earlier in a confessional, Karen says, you invited Sharice on my birthday trip and you know I don't F with her. But you gonna go and ask permission for Wendy to come to the birthday beach celebration situation, and you supposed to care because her and Wendy ain't rocking right now. But Mia didn't have the same respect for you. And Mia, you want to sit up here and you want to talk about loyalty and picking sides and holding down and having backs and whatnot. But yet you invited somebody on somebody's birthday trip that the birthday person that the person that you did this trip for doesn't even rock with. You invited that person. Mia, you are contradictory, you are hypocritical, and you can miss me. And Karen, the fact that you allow her to play in your face like that, you also can miss me as well. This is what I mean when I say I got my eye on Karen. Like, Karen, I see how you move. I pay very close attention, and I see how you move.
I see straight through you.
And you, girl, Karen, Ashley, and Candace decide, well, we're going to go check on Wendy. We're not going to do the beach. We're going to take a separate car. We're going to go check on Wendy. Which I feel like is right. You can't just leave that girl over there. Y'all are all at the beach. She over here by herself. Nobody is checking on her. And she was the one that was assaulted. Like, we're not going to do that. This upsets Mia. Mia going to take herself over to Karen, Ashley, and Candace's car and tell them, do you hear me? Is this thing, is the mic, can you hear me? Can you, mic check, 1 2 1 2, can you hear me? When you get back, and this is, except Karen, because she, you know, had the decency to come to me and tell me what's going on. But since you two couldn't do that, when you get back, you're going to need to find yourself other accommodations, okay? When I tell you, because I watched the show on my tablet, I almost threw my iPad. Mia, I don't know who you think you are. First of all, Bravo paid for that house, not you. So who you think you finna kick out, boo? If Bravo said they ain't going nowhere because they got to earn their check, they not going nowhere, baby. Who you thought was going to go somewhere? I know you think you a boss. And they tell you, you know, if you think it, if you believe it, then it is. But, nah, baby, not in this situation. You're not running nothing over here. Because what you're not going to do, and this is, I'm not going to jump ahead. But don't let Giselle get you hype in the head. Okay? Ashley calls Mia a petty hoe. And apparently Ashley is trying to follow suit in the next episode. But we will table that for now. We're going to wait till the episode airs. And then we will, you know, we will talk about that. Or if they release clips or whatever, what have you, I may have some videos and things of that nature that come out then. But from what I saw upcoming, it looked like Ashley is up to no good. Ashley and Candace, in this part part's gonna be a little jumbled, so I apologize because not everything is in order. Ashley, Candace, and Karen meet up with Wendy. And they sit down, they order their drinks and whatnot and carrying on. And they catch Wendy up on what had happened before they left the house. And they let Wendy know that basically that Mia was trying to kick them out of the house because they came to check up on her. And Wendy says Mia thinks she's a boss because someone gave her a blazer and some stilettos and let her play boss, basically. And then she says, what's the last book you read? Green Eggs and Ham by Dr. Seuss. That's probably the last one. I wrote one. Then Bravo shows the book. I said, ooh, okay, Mia. That was highly sophisticated shade, Henny. Like that was baby. That was different. That was different. That was educated shade. Okay. Listen. And I was here for all of it. And then, so Ashley decides to send a group text saying basically it was whack for Mia to try to threaten them with not having accommodations when she was the one that invited them out of town. And Ashley said, I'm going to be in my room when I get back.
Who gonna check me, boo?
And I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at Ashley for that. Because what you're not going to do is invite me out of town to another state and then tell me I don't have accommodations because I went to go check on somebody who's by themselves. But Mia is very childish. She's a child. And that is why she acts the way that she does. She's extremely immature. Then we cut to the beach. They arrive at the beach at the Savoy Hotel because that's where they went to the beach at. And so in that group, again, we have Robin and Giselle. We have Charisse, Mia, and Jackie. They get to the beach, and Giselle says something along the lines of when she was getting ready, because I guess her and Giselle's room are next door to, or no, they're below. They're below. Mia and Jackie's room, and Giselle said she happened to look up and she saw that Mia and Jackie were in the shower together, and then Robin asked, so have y'all messed around basically? And they both say no, but nobody believes them. Like, y'all, look, we know what's going on. And then after that, they receive Ashley's text, and Mia doesn't really want to respond because she feels like, how you gonna be on Wendy's side? And Wendy was talking about my husband. And then she's also mad at Karen because Karen doesn't want to pick a side. And how can she be okay with Wendy saying stuff about, gee, girl, you threw a drink. What are you talking about? So we just gonna keep skipping over the fact that you threw a drink on this lady. And you can keep trying to spend it like you threw a drink because she was talking about your husband. But we saw what happened, and we all know, unless they cut something out, we know that that's not the case. We know for a fact that ain't the case, Ma. You threw a drink on her, then she went off on your husband. So, Wendy didn't come out of nowhere saying what she said. You were not innocent, and therefore there's no reason for Karen to have your side. Now, Wendy's side, that's a different story. Giselle chimes in and says that it was a little harsh to try and kick them out of the house. It was doing a little much. And I feel like the only reason why she said that was because of Ashley. And she couldn't say, well, at least let Ashley come back, but not Candace, because, you know, they not stupid. They know what it looks like. They know what colorism is. They know what's floating around the show. So, you know, Giselle had to do that. And then Charisse decides to send a response back as Mia's assistant. Back at the restaurant, they do get Charisse's text. They have a little chuckle, a little kiki, a little laugh. And then Wendy also, and again, like I said, some of my notes are out of order. So if this scene happened at a different time, I apologize. This is where we're at. Alright. So Wendy shares that Patrina, and if you listen to my last video, you know who Patrina is. But that Patrina told her that Mia did some snake stuff to his ex-girlfriend, and that he said that he doesn't rock with them anymore. So she's confused on how Katrina is her brother. Where's all this brother stuff coming from? First, let me say Peter is extremely messy. This shows how messy he is because he's literally telling everybody everything about everybody. He is worse than females right now. Right now, he's worse than what Nene said he is. Because you just out here running your mouth. And you just try to start drama wherever you can amongst these women. And you're supposed to be a man. I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't condone that. I don't rock with that. Ashley says whatever tea Wendy has on Mia, it must be true and it must be juicy. The way she turned into the Hulk at that table, she didn't want that getting out. Cut to Bravo and the footage with the Hulk editing. I said, y'all ain't ish. Y'all ain't ish. They not ish. Bravo. Bravo. I mean, but she did, though. She transformed, honey. Okay? She transformed at that table. They all decided they're going to go ahead and leave the restaurant. Ashley and Karen head back to the house. And Candace and Wendy decide to... Well, Candace has to go to the studio to meet up with Trina. And Wendy decides to go with her. Trina looked good. Trina looked good. Everything was laid. Diamond Princess was in the building. I loved her nails. I'm a huge fan of a glittery, icy nail. So I loved her nails. I loved Trina's verse on the record. I think she slid. Like, I really did like it. Even though, low-key, I do, and y'all let me know if y'all agree or disagree in the comments on this. But I feel like she sounded like a little bit sleepy. Like, let me go in here and play this verse. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. But then, again, Trina kind of always sounds like that on her records. You know what I mean? But it was still a good verse. It was still a good verse. Even though, I'm not a big, huge, and y'all probably gonna come for me. Trina fan. Like, I like Trina, but I'm not a stan. But I did like her verse. I do hope that this song goes big for Candace. I love the encouragement that Wendy and Trina gave her in this moment. Candace does get emotional. People are letting her have it for being emotional in this moment, but I feel like she definitely has the right to be that. This is a dream that she's had since she's a little girl, and she's working with someone, and Trina is a big name, so to be working with someone like that on your first album, she has the right to be emotional. She works really hard for moments like these, so she deserves it.
So there.
As they are leaving, Wendy says that they should teach Trina how to slither, and I hollered when Bravo rolled the footage when they were coming for Wendy in her slither.
As you slithered down the steps, I sauntered. Okay. And you slithered into the conversation.
However, we're not gonna forget the fact how stuck their faces were when Wendy came back strutting. Okay, so but it was a cute moment with Wendy and Candace. We get back to the beach, and for some reason, unbeknownst to anybody, they decide to start twerking.
Wow, you look looking good.
Or their version of twerking. Side note, Giselle had said a couple episodes ago. I believe it was a couple episodes ago. Yeah, when they were at the clothing shop situation, and getting outfits for the trip, and Giselle was like, "Yeah, I'm ready to twerk," and then they rolled some footage back of Giselle trying to twerk, and she talking about my twerk is an African twerk, baby. Let me tell you something, Giselle. The only African part about your twerk is the colonizers.
Now, when y'all watch that scene, y'all gonna watch that shit totally different.
We move on. Robin says, as me is twerking, I don't see any lumps on Mia's butt. So, I mean, there's that. Mia, that's your friend, girl. That's your friend, girl. We already got Giselle Cancer. Okay, this what Cancer, no Cancer looks like. That's your friend. Those are your friends. That's who you getting in the car with. That's who you letting stay in the house and not kicking out. So, like I said before in my video where I recap episodes 1 through 5 of this season, when I said Robin and Giselle don't like anybody, I meant that. And I said, Mia, they don't like you either. They will use you just like they use Candace. They're using you. They don't like you, but you gonna get what you gonna get because you doing it to yourself. Just like Monique did it to herself. Just like we telling Candace, you doing it to yourself. So I don't have nothing for you, Mia. We move on. As they are about to leave, they decide they want to take pictures, and they see a group of young men, young black men. And of course, they pick the darkest one and start fawning all over him. I'm sorry. And maybe y'all might feel like I'm being extra or I'm reaching, but I felt like this was disgusting.
I am disgusted.
This was disgusting. For them to be all over that young man like that. This was disgusting. Especially Robert touching on him like he's some pet in a zoo. That was not cute. I was disgusted. And it would be the darkest young man in the group with all these light-skinned ladies, these quote-unquote preferences rubbing all over him. Like, I did not like this scene at all. It was gross. It was gross. And to me, it gave Michael Darby vibes for me. Like, you touching all over this man without consent. Ain't that what Michael Darby was doing to cast and crew? Ain't that what Michael Darby went to court for? Okay, girl. So they head back. They do some shots of tequila. Well, I think they did that earlier. And then, but at this point, they're heading back to the house. They get back to the house. Karen and Candace are already there. Ray has sent flowers. It was very, very cute. Very beautiful roses. And then Candace, Giselle, and Karen are talking. And then Mia asks for Karen to speak to her. Mia's like, or Karen's like, alright, I'm on my way. Karen gets to Mia and Jackie's room. Jackie starts trying to narrate Mia's feelings like Mia's not grown. And I'm like, Mia can't speak for herself? Mia don't have a mouth? She don't have a mouth on her body? Because she had one the other night with Wendy. So I'm trying to figure out what had happened was. Mia says that Karen went to check on the one who hasn't owned up to what she's done wrong. Mia girl, you still haven't owned up to the fact that you threw a drink on the lady. Okay, you still want to be up here talking about, she talked about my husband, she said stuff about my husband, but you have not owned up to the fact that, well, I did throw a drink on her first. We have not heard that come out of your mouth. We have not said it was wrong for me. We have not heard you say it was wrong for me to throw the drink. I shouldn't have thrown the drink. I apologize for throwing the drink. You have not said that. So why is it that you expect that Wendy should do anything when it comes to you? Girl, bye. And I wish in this moment that Karen would have said, so she gets a drink thrown on her and I'm not supposed to check on her, or something along those lines. I wish she would have really checked Mia in this moment and been like, but you did stuff to her. So I'm not supposed to, like, and I do think Karen tried to say a little bit, but, you know, Mia was definitely over-talking her. But this is why you don't do... This is why in situations like this you can't do neutrality. You can't say both are wrong. Because when you say both are wrong, the two people involved in the situation here, well, that also means we're both right. So if we're both wrong, then we both have rights to be upset. And that's not this situation at all. And that's why for me, especially in this moment, I felt like it was important for Karen to really take her side. But, you know, it's an issue to be neutral in situations like this. And I feel like this scene showed us why. And then Karen is like, so would you want me to ask for permission? The queen doesn't ask for permission.
Now hold on.
But Karen, you did ask for permission. If the queen didn't ask for permission, then you would have been at the beach with Wendy and Tuck. And you would not have reneged on your invitation if the queen doesn't have to ask for advice. See, Karen, you want to play this role like you run stuff and can't nobody run you and you ain't never scared and all of these things, but you really are. You play the game just like everybody else does, and we see you. We see you for your works, Miss Karen. We see you for your works. Mia tells her the moment you went to check on Wendy, you chose your side. And in a situation, that's why, again, I say, in a situation like this, you can't be neutral. In one way or another, you're going to end up on a side. Whether or not you choose the side or somebody else is going to choose it for you. And in this case, Mia chose it for her. See, and Mia expects for you to be on her side, Karen, because you all have the same skin tone. She expects her skin folk to be her kinfolk. Okay? And what you really should have done in that moment is just admit that Mia was wrong, period. And that Wendy's actions were warranted due to her being assaulted. That's what you should have done in that moment, and you didn't do that. Stop trying to use different words and trying to make it seem like Wendy really did something to Mia, or that Wendy is accountable in the same way that Mia was. She's not. And it's extremely unfair to Wendy and what she had to experience and go through. And not even just talking about just at the table, but before y'all even got to the restaurant. All the stuff that Wendy was doing behind this lady's back. And you doing all of this stuff to try to make her look crazy. And when she reacts to that, now y'all want to say, well, Wendy was wrong for escalating it. No, we're not doing that. Save it. And then we got Jackie over here. Well, that's it. Y'all not friends anymore. Ma'am, shut up. Nobody was talking to you. Nobody was speaking to you. Don't nobody care about being friends with Mia? You shouldn't even want to be friends with Mia. And apparently you won't be for too much longer. So I don't even know why you ran for her like you don't know she was wrong. Anyway, I know I had to, this video was getting long. We're at 52 minutes, and I know I had said that I was going to speak on some things about Candace, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and make a post. So y'all look out for the post that's going to come out. I have some things that I want to say about, Miss Candace and her involvement, but I'm going to go ahead and stop this video here. I appreciate y'all for coming and listening and vibing with me on this video. Again, please don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it. And please go ahead and subscribe if you want to hear other videos from me. And please leave a comment below. Let me know how y'all felt about this episode. If y'all agree or disagree with anything, that I've said. And I'll see y'all in the next one.